Madume bagaetsho ra le amogela sanibona bahlali sanamukela. It's probably Macheroni by now. Not Macheroni, but Madegwan. Oh, congratulations. Riperile wakaina. We are back today. Interesting topic as usual. Iziko likagogo nomkhulu ngihamba nogogo ngihambe ngethi gogo njani?
Ngiyaphila wena mkhulu unjani?
Ngikhona. You wanted to respond.
Not respond per se.
Add. So what happened was last week we had a topic on what is behind the black divorce, right? A very heated topic, enjoyed ourselves. And so uGogo is going to add. It's more of a response to last week's session, an addition. uGogo is going to take us more through the physical world. Incidents that took place in the physical world. That could be some of the
root causes,
driving forces behind black unions breaking apart. But before we go into it as usual, we bring a basket today of freedom fighters.
Yes.
Who have you got to go?
Race men and race women.
Yes.
Who we always would honor, and it's a dream that when they were born and returned home, we could wear their t-shirt.
We must always give thanks.
Yeah, give thanks. So we start off with Peter Mokaba.
Peter Mokaba.
He is the main...
An ANC stalwart. Out of Teflo, Polokwane.
Yes. The main reason for the song.
Yes.
And the main reason for it was the killing, the destroying of the system.
The system.
Never the individual.
Yeah.
It's always the system.
Peter Mokaba made the chant famous. Kerela Kichima Masocha. So when Julius insists on Dubulipunu and the courts obliging that it's
a chant.
It's part of a struggle heritage. It's like a museum, right? So it's just there as an artifact in a museum. And it comes from the likes of Peter Mokaba.
It comes even before him. He says it could have been sang by the people before him.
Our generation.
The inspiration and the implication comes from him.
Yes, our generation was introduced to it largely by Peter Mokaba.
Yes.
And Gogo, we have got Tamsanga.
Before we go to Tamsanga, on the 10th of June.
When was Tamsanga?
It's on the 14th.
Oh, so in Hambangere.
Yes,
okay.
On the 10th, the one and only Marcus
Mosiaga
passed away.
Yeah.
And I would love to believe any freedom fighter, revolutionary, any countries that rebuild their countries used his principles. And those who were honest enough gave him flowers that his principles re-engineered how we rebuilt our countries. So Marcus Garvey has influenced just about any man, woman on black consciousness
that found themselves in
understand what happened to life. How did we become like this? From academia to music to artists.
We call it Garveyism. Yes. It's a movement.
He impacted people in different ways. So, and he highlighted how Willie Lynch influenced Du Bois in the colorism, in pitting of the educated versus the not educated.
Yeah.
And with Marcus Garvey and Du Bois, it had nothing to do with academic knowledge. It was because I'm the first from Harvard. I speak better.
Oh, I'm a Harvard product.
Yes, I am better than you. Who are you? You are short. You have no academics behind your name. And Garvey had the passion. Garvey had the magnet. He was more of a charismatic yes, leader, where he spoke and his energy was just infectious, and it was a magnet.
And he was a prophet, because we see what he used to talk about today.
Everything.
Today you've got the ANC, you've got the MK, you've got
the PAC, and all of their things.
But listen to the irony.
Yes.
Listen to the irony. They all want to free a black child and get the land back, and statistically, arithmetically, they have got the numbers to do that, but they won't.
It's the mindset.
Because then
if
divide and
you
rule.
understood Marcus Garvey,
Divide and rule.
he
Yes.
had for the continent and everybody in the island. He spoke of black unity, never black division.
Yeah.
He loved the roots. He always said, if you do not understand the roots, you're like a tree that's floating. You have no essence. Awuzazi izingcambu zakokwenu, zabantu bakokwenu. How, and he loved history, but if you don't understand history,
yes,
you
actually
do not know
also
who you are.
he made the line Africa for Africans,
Africa for Africa,
Europe for
at
Europeans,
home and abroad.
Popular. That's where it comes from. It's a Garvey line. If you don't know Marcus Garvey, there's a song by the Burning Spear, Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
There's one Gamalake, also Bob Marley,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Belgian song.
Oh, yeah.
There's songs.
There's songs.
Songs.
Plenty. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
A big character.
The greatest. He's great.
And then we have who?
Then on the 13th, we have Walter Rodney,
Oh yeah,
He
those are your
was-
people.
a professor, Guyani,
Walter Rodney.
assassinated, a scholar, a researcher, assassinated.
Would he have inspired the likes of Kete Asante,
West Africa.
the region, the guys we have today?
Yes,
Would he have been their role model?
definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Devoted, dedicated his life to the struggle.
Oh, who's your friend that comes to South Africa regularly now?
Who's my friend now? Why do you always give me friends? Like,
He was on Penwell, man.
Dr. Umar.
Dr. Umar. You think Umar look up to Rodney? Ne?
Ooh, Dr. Umar loves Marcus Garvey.
Oh yeah, he's a Garveyist.
He's
I'm a Garveyist as well. Garveyism is a movement, and
I
I'm a
don't think
Garveyist.
anyone who doesn't understand black consciousness will not be a child of Marcus Garvey. Will not read on all the statements.
I have a collection of his speeches in a book.
Me too.
Beautiful, beautiful soul.
You can read his energy. You can absorb.
No, it comes alive when you read his
Yeah,
speech.
you can absorb his words and you see it, and you see the relevance of them today, everything that is happening. So then we move on the 14th. We have Utamsanga,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Miele, and Ernesto.
Che.
They-
So
yeah.
Utamsanga Miele, those that don't know, is a liberator as well. Notably served in the liberation camps in Botswana alongside the poet laureate Wally Serote, until their camp was invaded in 1985 by the South African, regime, and he was killed in that incident. But Boali and others could get away and stuff. So yes, we lost him in 14 on the 4th. Was it the 14th?
14th of
14th,
June,
yes.
1985.
And then Ernesto,
Yes, Ernesto.
Che, Rafa,
Different human being
a
with cut from a different cloth.
a warthog that
A justice. He was
he
driven.
fought for justice. He
He
didn't
was
care.
driven.
Listen
for
to this.
that.
Che Guevara he was born in He's an Argentinian.
A doctor.
A doctor by profession, right? A person that could have chosen to live their life out in bourgeoisie,
Yes.
right?
Luxury.
In
of
luxury.
unknown
But
levels.
no, he just sat back
Something
and
in his
thought,
heart
no,
said,
this can't be
something is not
right.
right.
Yeah. And then he joined Fidel, and then they were everywhere in the world. See, what I like about Che and Fidel, it was not just about Cuba. They were ended up in
Humanity.
Angola. They found themselves in the Congo.
They devoted,
When
dedicated
they
their
finally
lives.
caught Che, he was now in
Bolivia.
In Bolivia, yes, fighting for liberation to free the people of Bolivia. And the tyrant there at the time, I can't remember his name, decided, you know what, we're going to put an end to this guy.
But that's been the equation.
Yeah.
That's been the equation.
But that
Which
is
also fits to today's topic.
Yeah, that is now how we lost Che Guevara, and that's, I think, completely today's
For
basket
this week. Yes, for this week.
of liberators. So Gogo,
Cool.
black divorces. We now take all Gogo Nomkhulu and put them aside. The goats, the cattle,
The
the
ancestral
Mkomboti,
reasons.
we put those aside.
Yes.
We now want to face what is it that we do, or what are the events that took place in life as we know it today. That are some of the root causes of the struggles we find between black unions. It could even go between comrades. Why didn't Becky and Zuma not get along? Why didn't me and my wife not get along? What could be these events?
What happened to the black race?
Gogo, let's take it from the beginning.
So, as I was saying that my unlearning takes place in the America and the white indoctrination, the white supremacy, the slave enslavement, and how slave masters study African behavior, African family structure, how they saw the black unity between the mother and the father, and said to themselves, the first person we're gonna break a black man.
We're gonna start with the head.
Start with the head.
Now that's how you kill a snake anyway.
Break the black man first in front of another in a community. We know where we believe it takes a community to raise a child. They took it around and said, we will break the head in front of the community. And the next set of men will know exactly how
shiver in their spines.
They would be in this total submission of surrender, mental surrender. Then you break the black man brutally, not just you brutally. Then you they had different levels.
And you don't do it in secret, you do it in public.
We hold a belief that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
When they did it in front of the village.
That whoever that insurrects,
your dignity.
this is what's gonna happen.
Your dignity, your manhood,
will strip you.
Your definition. They will strip you, tie you into two horses, put you on fire. It's a mental, psychological damage that happened in America.
So the physical pain ends with the victim, but the
whole
spectators
community
are left shaking in their boots.
In their fear. The younger black man, if he was resisting, would be beaten to a point of death, but he'll be spared. So that will be an example. With that, the black woman sees that I do not have anyone anymore
to defend me. Because
they've
now surrendered.
The role of a black man was to provide and protect. I do not have these two qualities in my very own man.
They were taken away.
That is the first psychological.
The first wedge.
Yes.
But Gogo, you said it's in America. How does it need travel to come here?
Remember, our education does not educate on the similarities of slavery and colonization. It's like it's as if it happened there, it had nothing to do with us. I firmly believe that they sat around, colonizers and slavers, sat around with the Willie Lynch speech, circulated it, said amongst themselves, you will learn to, what's the word when you apply it to fit for purpose?
Yes.
Moderate it,
there's
a word I'm looking for.
Take this blueprint.
Amend it. Fit for purpose
take this blueprint,
in South Africa.
Take it to your homes.
Yes, and see.
And then adjust it accordingly based on your environment.
Let it be fit for purpose in that area.
So that model was sent across the world.
As they said during the Berlin conference, they said this is how in America black people are broken. We broke them as human beings, we made them into perpetual slaves.
So are you saying that what Mwiseni Ndlozi is talking about when he says Verwoerd wrote a thesis, could it have been a Willie Lynch Adaptation.
It should have been inspired by their forefathers.
Okay.
If I speak about the accounting equation, when did we lose it as African people? Can we, in the history of life, say at the opening balance, we can see Pumalanga, the Nile Meridian, the greatness, all the way up to Kemet. We can see the black unity, we can see the structures, we can see the beautiful civilization that they were built. What went wrong? Can we trace and audit what went wrong?
What went wrong?
You take in the 13 centuries of Arab slave. If today you are walking around with a Arab Muslim name, get your history. How did a black person end up?
Oh yes, and what Gogo is teaching us now is, by the way, that slavery was not started by white people here. The Arabs started. White people arrived and found the Arabs in business.
And they took whatever equation from that slave trade, modified it for themselves, and made it multiplied, it became an industry. So, what you call them? There, Europe was built, the Americans were built. If you were to tone it down, opening balance, what happened? Trace the breakage, what was removed, what was added, and how it's been maintained and perpetuated. Hold on for me. So Ubeni Lynch said, the best bet is to train a black woman to be psychologically independent
from this one.
Yes, because once I don't see your manhood, once it has been removed,
why do I need you?
I don't need you anymore. I will call you names. I will look down on you. So, or like today.
So the black woman now joins in the further breaking apart.
They studied how to destroy us from centuries ago, and they wrote it down that if we maintain this, they will do it to themselves.
Yeah. Oh.
The black mother.
All we do is implement.
Yeah. The black mother now becomes a servant in the white system of, I will teach my son to be mentally weak, physically strong. I will teach my black girl to be physically strong, mentally strong, and resilient, and self-sufficient, and not have a need for a black man. So when you hear of, right now in South Africa, you have toxic masculinity. You have the high divorce rate.
Yes.
You have mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. You have men against women, the gender-based violence.
Youth against the elderly.
Youth against the elderly. If you were to reconcile, the root cause will come from, it all began when they sat and said, this is the formula to break. We are automatically breaking ourselves as black people.
So Gogo, your first submission becomes, the black man was strategically broken down so that the woman does not see anything when he looks at the man.
I don't see your worth because you were being in America during slavery. If the black man was strong, a white homosexual slave owner or an overseer will rape him in front of the community. When a black man can't hold his head up, I don't see you anymore. So when I say black trauma has been passed on, and we just see it as a personality, we don't go to the causes, we can never heal it. And then you bring in the Bible.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It speaks about, I personally hung myself with this perseverance. I think it's Romans 5, from verse 30.
What are they saying there?
It speaks about perseverance.
You must take the pain.
You must take it. It's gonna create character, and I was like, what?
So
like you make it as if it's good for God.
Take the pain and then you'll go to heaven or something like that.
It makes you believe that in persevering, I'm gonna grow in strength and in character. And in psychology, that you are becoming an enabler on your own pain.
Yes.
You are now.
It's a very interesting thing.
Yeah, dry season. So when we look at what happened to African people, when we were removed from venerating them, understanding who we were, the person before the indoctrination, how did black women and black men and black children coexist? We never focus on core. How did they keep the black unity? How did it work so well that each generation understood that umuntu wesilisa is greeted ngesithakazelo, ungumama, uyingane, uyintombazana, uzokhula, there will be stages that you need to go through. So came church. Church comes with destroying of the polygamy.
It's barbaric.
It's safe. It's
ancient.
Done by savage, uncivilized people. And once you are broken,
But wasn't there a guy in the Bible with like 7 wives or something?
as I have said before, it has been proven.
It sounds like the Bible takes up and.
I need to the Bible is a Dr. Henry Clark. He says that we need to go to the root, the book where the Bible was extracted from.
Okay.
I always say to you that I don't have an issue with ZCC, Shembe. Focus on the gift. Gifts. The Bible has been proven as not a single character from it ever walked this earth, ever had.
So it's a storybook.
It's a storybook. But let's find, is it in the Medunata? Can we find anything similar? If we look at my art with the 42 precepts, can we find them in the 10 Commandments? Yes, we can. Who was Moses if no Moses ever lived? Can we also go back to the history?
I've heard people talk about Black Moses.
You see, when you get to a point of saying, I'm on the side of there's never been a Moses. Nothing in the Bible ever existed. You discard the black Hebrewism, you discard all of that, and you say to yourself, so who were these people before the lies?
Okay.
So the black family, the destruction of the black family feeds into, that is what white supremacy needs to see.
It thrives on
It
that.
thrives on
Its survival needs a broken society.
It cannot survive because we look to them as the savior.
Yes, okay.
So when the black mother, there's a guy on TikTok, he says that majority of divorces, if we were to reconcile them, the mother-in-law
is in there somewhere.
In there. She's unwilling.
She's
She's unwilling to let go of her son.
Or the clingy mamazalas.
Yes.
Okay.
Then it becomes either she'll influence the daughters to be against their sister-in-law.
Really?
And then it becomes the sister-in-law, daughter-in-law is an enemy. I think in South Africa,
she's come to take our
we have this thing that marrying a breadwinner, you're gonna see heaven and earth or beyond the stars because your life will be miserable.
If done wrong.
Hence why they say that if you marry a breadwinner, you will never
It's
be
never
happy.
be easy.
No, you will end up in divorce.
In the Malume, not the Malume episode we did, I said this. Breadwinners, there's nothing wrong with marrying a breadwinner. It must just be done correctly. The story needs to be explained ahead of. As me and you meet, and we move in a direction that looks like a
marriage.
You need to be brought into confidence. And listen, I'm a malume of 12. Githi sipheka ngebhodo elingaka. School fees there, school fees there, school fees there. This is what is happening in my pockets. I'm a whatever, I run a business of this sort. This is more or less how much I take. I love you and want to build with you. But I have got a duty to address this. So please, let's discuss me and you. Being ourselves, existing as umdeni, me and you. And then with whatever that we have left, seeing of how we can be of assistance. Lapha.
Cool.
It's gonna be wrong to say breadwinners shouldn't get married.
It is a lifelong responsibility for all siblings to take care of their home.
Yes.
It is not the
everyone's job.
responsibility of the breadwinner.
Right? You're a breadwinner when you're the only one.
Yes.
When we are all accountants and doctors and
regardless.
Then
you
it's
can be a
fine because
cashier,
we are all clapping
yeah.
in and then
We all clap
Yeah.
based on the affordability.
you're a breadwinner. When you the
Only
only
one.
source.
Can also the siblings of the breadwinner make it easier by
Of course, I think they're out there looking for jobs.
I'm not there's different levels of responsibility
Okay.
among siblings.
Okay.
There's a sibling who is just
Not,
has taken
not, they're not going to
responsibility.
border.
who has taken responsibility
Oh,
to
there's one that have
populate-
taken the
to
responsibility.
populate. They're gonna be the ones with 4 kids from different men,
From different fathers.
and breadwinner must be
the father.
and the mother becomes it's siblings should assist each other.
Where do you tie that point, Gogo? Because we're now over that breaking of a black man. Where do you tie that one? This particular point of submission. Where does it come from? Where do Mama Zaras that don't release their kids come from? What gives birth to a Mama Zala that just
It's
cannot
holding
let
on.
go?
Let's say I marry, I'm divorced, I was unhappy for whatever reason.
In my marriage, I wasn't happy.
Yes,
Okay.
I do not work on myself
Uh-huh.
to
So
feel
you're
my
a
cup.
broken Makoti now
Yes.
that has come back.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel it's either I don't come back or I stay in the marriage.
You stay in a marriage broken.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel my cup.
So you're saying also silently that there are many marriages that are broken, but the people are still together.
Yes,
Okay.
there are many people who will be celebrating 30 years of being together, but it's only been dysfunction.
But they're there.
You've been unhappy.
Yes. So they're on the Begazalaring team
Yes,
now.
they've
Okay.
long lost
Long.
each
It's
other.
gone. Yeah.
It's not, there's no more.
But there are 5
health
kids in
issues.
front of
There
them.
are 5 kids. Kids go home, and these kids are learning that staying is a virtue.
It's the
because-
thing. Because we saw our mother do it.
Yes. And the boys, they pick up the bad behaviors of the father because the mother must now.
But even if I do it, mom won't leave.
Akahambi, akayi ndawo, uhleli. And I think that is the wedding or the marriage that our people believe is happy. That bahleli, they're gonna be celebrating 50 years of marriage.
50 years together,
But
but
there is nothing of value inside. You died, and you kept dying to a point where you just plain bitter. You are now toxic to your own kids, to your own self.
your own self.
Your
So
own self.
you're saying a mama Zara that is got issues letting go of the child,
Of the child.
having issues no makoti, could be that mama Zara didn't have a very nice
She
marriage.
could either naye herself is carrying her own mother wounds that she has not fixed.
Yes.
She was traumatized by a mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
She went to church. She was told that unina uThixo hate divorce. Uzakunyamezela, uzawuhlala. Umama. She could.
So are you saying also
It's
that
a spectrum.
the
of,
church can also contribute to a broken person?
You find mothers' union. I'm sure they're in cliques.
Ibandla lo mama.
Yeah,
That Wednesday thing.
Thursday. Where are you coming from?
SSCC we're having Wednesday.
Oh, Lekaya. Okay. Durban side. They are more on the Thursday.
What church is this?
Anglican.
Yeah, it's not ours.
Yeah. So there's mothers union.
Yeah.
Depending. Thursdays or Wednesdays. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful concept of supporting each other, being there
Support.
for each
It's
other.
meant to be a support group.
It's a support group. So if you find in your clique there are toxic mother-in-laws where iy'ngane zami ziyangisebenzela, izingane zami before they do anything they come to
So
me.
the mothers in the church group, they are now competing. They're telling each other,
Yes,
this is what my children did for me.
Yes,
That's
they
what
took
my
me here.
that's the car my son bought for me.
Yes. Then now we're gonna hear and not understand what these kids
Mfuni moto nam.
do you even see why your kids can't afford for themselves?
That's bad.
So it's different layers.
So the second submission from you, Gogo, is that there are instances where the in-laws are a problem in the marriage.
The in-laws, let's say the breadwinner, he's aware ukuthi ekhaya kudingeka u-X for ugesi, amanzi, ukudla, i-lunch for abantwana. Those things are there. However, if now the mother-in-law says, on top of those things, I now need from you a fixed amount.
Kahwedi,
What's the question there?
ngenyanga.
Yes.
So you are now getting paid. You're on our payroll now.
I started.
No, but Sasa helped.
No, mkhulu, ngithi, it's case by case. If umndeni, if ekhaya is about 6, you all should be saying per person, whoever is working, depending on where you are. Ugesi, amanzi, ayimalini, ukudla, u-auntie, things like that. That should be sufficient. When the husband, a brother, is married, athengele unkosikazi imoto noma uyayidinga. Why manje? Why you compete?
You can't compete with my wife. So, on your second submission, Gogo, okay, firstly it was the breaking down of the man, and then making the woman masculine.
Strong.
Then we have come now, we've got all Mazal that have had the most terrible marriage, and that marriage reflects in the child's marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Uzawuhlala because nami ndahlala. Uzawunyamezela because ndanyamezela.
And they would go further to even recruiting the sisters to gang up against
the daughter-in-law. Then I always say that our inability to see that such mother-in-laws hate their sons. You can never.
Do you think they hate them, or it's about their own survival?
If your survival needs to have your son
in pain.
Yeah,
it's hate.
There's no love in that.
It's hate.
You may not see it as that.
It's hate, yeah.
Up until
it's camouflaged.
It's you not understanding that your behavior as a mother is affecting the next generation. We are breaking our own families out of not being fulfilled ourselves. What makes me happy as a person should not. I didn't give birth to my kids for them to say, "Uma did this for the following reasons." If my things, if bona they're not grown enough to say, "Last come corner," there's 1 and 2 and 3 missing. I can have them without thinking of home. I've done my best. They are not seeing it as their responsibility. There are things you can't transfer to the next generation, to taking care of their parents. There's many levels.
There's
of
levels to
us as Africans saying, I didn't ask to be on earth. It's not my responsibility as a child.
You look after me.
You look after me.
Okay, Gogo, I'll take that as a second submission.
Yes.
Infidelity. Ubaba mayeshayisa emsebenzini undlula endlini encane.
Cool.
Endlini encane is where dad's girlfriend stays.
Okay. African men or African society was benchmarked on polygamy.
So we are a polygamous race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Religion.
Monogamy
came through religion.
Religion. Okay.
You are changing a psychological mindset of a person when you break them, right? Then you bring them into this monogamy and religion, and you marry this one woman.
This is your person.
Nature and psychology and indoctrination don't work.
It doesn't work.
Nature supersedes it all.
Yes, nature comes first.
Nature supersedes it all.
Nature comes first.
So we are trying to put a square peg in a round something.
Yes, that's how they put it.
Yeah. So you are taking a nature of a man and a woman,
trying to fit them in an envelope that they will never fit.
Then you have this strong black woman who can assert herself, who can speak louder and stronger than a black man. And you break this man longer. You take away his ability to provide. You
emasculate this one.
Is white supremacy, and they've broken the psychology of a black man and a black woman and the black kid. And we are now, without anyone, do it ourselves, as it was predicted by.
The answer I'm getting from you is that it shouldn't be an additional mum that breaks a home. Shouldn't be.
Cool. I'm divorced. I am not one to misdirect my anger.
No.
I never stood in front of a priest and said, I take the woman my ex-husband was cheating with. I can never hold her responsible for the breaking in my marriage.
No.
The two people I brought in my 50%, he brought in his 50%.
In the
breaking of the marriage. It is never that he cheated. He cheated because of whatever.
Yes.
And we're gonna go back to how did autism affect me as a married woman? How did I parent my kids? But cheating becomes, you said last week, our last episode, about if there were things not done in the processes of
yes,
abantu abadala
will find a way to come in.
And let's go back again. If a mother-in-law enables her son not to have accountability, you bring a problem to mother-in-law, she says bekezela, nyamezela,
he doesn't call this guy into order.
Angithi mkhulu, yes mkhulu, with us we have maintained ukuthi amadoda ayajola. Awushiya umshado because ujolile. We embrace ukuthi a man is never monogamous.
Munna ke thaka wa nama ka Sepedi. Munna ke slepe wa di mishana. Ke Sepedi. So ka Sepedi, those two phrases I make are Sepedi phrases. Munna ke thaka wa nama. Thaka is a plant that crawls on the floor, meaning a man can multiply. And then munna ke slepe wa di mishana means a man is an ex. The lady next door can come in and borrow an axe to go chop her own wood.
Okay.
So other women can borrow your man.
No. I look at it from polygamy.
And it's not a man, it's a human thing, because
maintaining
also
order.
Also they've got extramarital affairs now.
Khulu asikhuliswanga with that mindset.
I'm just saying, in the public, in the newspapers, it's a man.
It is.
But last week a man shot people because
he
found a man in the house or
he
something.
used the GPS to find his wife. When he gets there, he shot the husband.
He shot the boyfriend.
He shot the boyfriend. For me, it becomes you miss directing your anger.
And in our boys' clubs also we talk about it. I mean, it's a generally known statement that you just haven't met him.
Okay.
So if you and your friends are realistic, are practical, you will teach each other that you just have not met him. So whether he's there or not, yes, it's another debate. But one day when you meet a man, that coaching line just addresses the fact that one day when he comes out, don't take up worms and arms and kill people. Just know that there's the same one.
So okay, are you now you in this conversation and you become the traditional?
I
say in the past, okhokho bethu, izalukazi zethu, nabemakhaya, they had yes.
Kasisuthu, Budaza has a song. So Budaza is a very popular Basotho artist. Ndade hatswa mikiti kapa msebetsi kapa wherever. Ha kena ka kgoro. Wa bina. So when a man comes from wherever in his own time, when he approaches his home state, he must start singing. To do what? To tell Ubamngane,
we need to.
So sing a band. These things are there. If you hang around with friends that are good friends and they are male, they'll tell you. The same way you go through Indlengane on your way home. Na umama, ubamngane ukho.
So thank you. We meant to have a conversation about the gender-based violence on white women.
Those men, they hang around in wrong circles.
If uthi amongst men, niyakhuluma nithi babangane ukhona.
Gok, I've got a very good example.
Yes. Why do you kill?
On the socials.
Yes.
There's a man that found his wife no bamngane endly. You know, like a real man. You know what he did? He called a meeting. He called people from the mama side. Abiza no bamngane from his side. what was unknown.
Zobon
That man handled it like how
is
an
meant to be
issue like
handled.
that must be handled.
Without violence,
No
without
one
a
died.
corpse.
No. Nobody left
Yes.
the scene in
Covered
body
in
bags.
foil.
No. Like a man, he handled
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So Ubamnan Ukon, you just have not met him.
Okay. We're
Right.
gonna elaborate this further on. Ubabncane ukhona is just a matter of time. That's a big reveal.
The big review.
Yes.
So
So on the black divorce, we need to always face in the psychology of the different generations, the passing down on the weakening of the mental abuse of a black man, him being more physical, the black woman being independent and more strong, her raising her son to be mentally weak and physically strong, her raising the daughter. So right now you always find about black moms and black sons, that we raise our sons, we love our sons, and we hate our daughters. Where did that come from? It came all the way from slavery.
and then Gogo, you've just now rubbished my infidelity point.
I
I
did not
want
rubbish
to
anything.
test one point.
Yes.
Shatile, we
Yes.
married,
Yeah.
Renyetsi, living happily ever after, and my work comes to an end. My contracts where I used to steal water affairs, they closed the taps. Should those things lead to divorce? What happens there? Because we hear, oh, Baba Bachi, I ungishiyile ngoba
Angisasebenzi.
angisasebenzi. Kusuke kwenzakaleni lapho?
Mkhulu, angithi impilo ayikho stagnant, or it's not moving in one wavelength. It's like a bell curve.
Even liyajika.
Yeah, it's like a bell curve. It's like the seasons of life.
It's a sinusoidal.
Yeah, it is what it is. When a man who was providing, everything was right line.
Kumnandi.
Kumnandi.
Sasiye Dubai.
Konke
Sasiposta lapha Instagram sikuphi kuphi.
konke okumnandi. Aphela ama contracts. Ngiyasebenza ngisebenza.
Wena
Yes.
umama
Yebo.
mhlambe yabamba lapha kwa spa.
Angithi we need to adjust.
Yebo.
We need to adjust.
Isingo zosithenga. Yebo.
Angithi uma konke kuthiwa ngesixhosa lidudume lidlule.
Oh yes. Okungapheli.
Kuyahlola.
Yes.
We are in this phase of less. Kids need to be moved to different schools.
Yeah, sibakhipha
Forwards,
Cure.
wherever they were.
Baya kwabhayanisa lesifo manje.
Yes, they're gonna go to isikole.
Isikole naso. Mina ngibuya kusona.
Angithi sonke siphume ekoleni where we didn't have saints and
Akukho sayings la
we
siphuma
didn't
khona.
have a college or prep. We're coming from high school.
Prep for boys.
Yes, we
Prep
don't
for
have
girls.
those. Yes, we don't have those. We came back from Ama High School, from
Yes.
isikole as long as
Yes.
ingane izofunda.
So that's the nyamezelo you support.
Sizawunyamezela up until something happens. Not uba uyandibetha. No. You are emotionally
so you
abusive,
just introduced a new subject.
financially abusive.
Also, if I lose my job, the marriage should survive. But if I become
where's the strength of our relationship when it's being tested? I bail out. Angithi if nansi imali iphelile, nansi bank account, they are closing the contract 3 months in advance, 6 months in advance. When we saving, we were investing. Can we live with our investments? If we didn't save, we were like, whatever it is we were doing.
So,
Yeah.
So
It's not room for suicide for the men. Majority of men commit suicide because they can afford.
they can't
They can't provide.
They used to, but
Yes,
now
they
it's
can't.
gone.
And then ekhaya unkosikazi becomes,
Uyangijikela
she goes
man.
back to that masculine.
You withhold the services endly.
I mean, I'm moving on the psychology of being programmed by you as the stronger one. If she's the stronger one who's gonna break the husband, then the marriage will fall. If she will say, "But I'll rise to the occasion," do we request for postponements in the bond repayments? If it gets to a point where we're selling, we're moving back to a kaya.
Yeah, sibuyele kasi phela.
Yes. Explain to the kids that we are going through a rough patch. It's gonna be rough. We're gonna adjust. That is ukunyamezela healthily. The true thick
That's
and
the
thin.
healthy nyamezela.
The true thick and thin.
Yes. So what uGogo is saying, Osisi, is umchato, a marriage does not spill because ubaba has lost a job. No. You can't start withholding services ekhaya. When you were saving me food, when you were saving me food, kukhona indisha manzi ezanemfadukwe. When the job ends, indish disappears. Kuthiwa hayi baba shona le sikuyakuzisa. Kusuka kuza imfaduke na, and then a week later imfaduke na yeza.
It's stressful. I'm sure it's stressful. It's stressful. However,
Ekamereni nakhona ish ama-services awazekho.
I was moving away from that topic. Okay, it's stressful. It's stressful.
So uGogo is saying umchato awubhidliki because
Because
ubaba has lost umsebenzi.
It's like if
No.
if I'm
This is the only
unemployed,
nyamezela ring that
if
we
I'm
must
unemployed
be doing.
and you are the one pulling for the both of us,
Yes.
why mina?
Yeah.
Why wena? You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be able to push through.
Yes.
When it's my turn, I can't push through at the same time. Then
And
there's no
on this
balance.
next one, I'm not going to ask uGogo a question. Abuse in the physical sense, Bafethu, is no go. Umchato must stop immediately. The moment ubiza usisi ngapha, we have lost the whole thing. Let's take leave. Angiphume ngishiye umama nengane
Bantwana.
endlini to go find myself.
Go get to the root cause.
Yeah.
Who did you witness doing this?
Yes.
How do you unlearn
Yeah.
this behavior?
Where do you take
How
this?
do you call yourself to order and say,
Yeah.
the way I'm responding is violent? This is not who I am.
Yeah.
What influenced this response? How do I teach myself again how to say, I am triggered, I'm angry, can I ask for time off? Can you discuss this later? Things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gogo,
Cool.
I think we've collected points.
Yeah.
In your parting shot, in the physical sense, based on events in the physical realm, what would you close this episode with in terms of the divorces we are seeing based on physical events?
With psychology not ever phasing in the systematic psychological programming, that's where psychologists will miss why there's a high rate in black divorce. Right now, you have a high unemployment amongst African people. Black men become in the higher stats.
Yes.
What happens already to a demoralized black man with a black woman who is who's stronger, who is exactly how the system.
She's the CEO there.
The system
Immigrant.
will always break the black family. We as the community should be coming together and say that we can't survive like this. Our kids are not growing up in healthy families. How do we use all the things we know, put them together and say, Bantu besifazane, you've been carrying the weight for years now. Black men, the white man, the Arab man, traumatized.
Has broken you.
How do you rebuild yourself? What are the components that makes a man fight? Intellectually, spiritually, academically, how do we rebuild ourselves as black men? Our homes are breaking. How do we make sure that the next generation, future generations can say, some people said, stop. We're closing this, we're minusing this, we are adding this, and we're going to monitor and move forward with things that all Koko would love to see the future men and black women, the future homes, the quality and the healthiness of the quality of the communities.
I know.
Everyone needs to be on reduce, remove all the seeds that were planted that have taken root, yank them out, and return to
self.
sender, and return to self. The remaking of a black family.
We must find the black man and restore him.
Yeah, restore the black man and the black woman.
And the black woman, because it's a
once
man
they
and
are
a
restored,
woman. Yes.
the black family becomes automatic.
Yes. Gok,
Cool.
sithokoze for the teachings.
Yes.
And
Thanks.
we hope that Abashali, join in on these conversations because we're not experts or anything.
We just out of
We're
our
talking
own
about life
lived
experiences.
experiences.
So we want to also hear
observed.
from you.
Yeah.
Chat with us, engage, ask questions, allow us a moment to ask questions as well. So Stokoze, patronage, the viewerships, everything. Siyathokoza. Ndithanda nonke emakhaya.
Enkosi. Enkosi.